What if I told you a simple 1-cent coin minted in 1978 at the Denver Mint, something you might have walked past on the sidewalk or overlooked in your spare change, could be worth an astonishing $172 million today? Yes, you heard that right. This is not fiction, not a myth, but a real coin whose unbelievable value is now the subject of intense fascination among collectors, historians, and numismatic enthusiasts worldwide. And today, we're diving deep into the unbelievable journey, historical secrets, and rare anomalies of the 1978 USA 1-cent coin that's captured the attention of the world. Welcome to a story filled with copper, mystery, mint errors, forgotten dies, economic transitions, and the powerful role this tiny coin played in shaping American monetary history. The late 1970s was a time of economic upheaval, rising inflation, metal shortages, and a shifting monetary landscape. The U.S. Mint was experimenting with different compositions, die designs, and striking techniques as it navigated pressure from the government to reduce production costs. Amid this, the Denver Mint released the 1978 Lincoln cent, a coin that, on the surface, looked like any ordinary penny bearing Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile. But deep within select rolls and rare mint sets, an anomaly was brewing. Some of these coins, later found in obscure estate sales, hoarded collections, or simply passed down through generations, began to reveal traits so unique, so unmatched in any other year or mint location, that their market value skyrocketed to insane levels. Collectors noticed unusually sharp doubling on the obverse side, especially in the word Liberty and the date 1978, indicating a dramatic die clash or a rare double die strike. Other specimens showed bizarre off-center strikes, clipped planchets, reverse lamination errors, and even transitional planchets intended for earlier or later compositions. Even stranger were the few coins discovered with a floating roof, anomaly above the Lincoln Memorial, a result of die polishing that erased the roof's connecting lines, making these variants even more desirable. Some of these peculiarities could only be detected under magnification, making this a numismatist's dream and turning basic pocket change into a treasure hunt for the ages. One such coin surfaced in a small-town auction in Indiana in 2011. Initially grouped with generic pennies in a coin jar, it was picked up by a sharp-eyed dealer who noticed the strong doubling and lack of mint luster common in mass-produced strikes. Sent for grading, the coin was authenticated by PCGS and assigned an MS68 RD grade with an extreme rarity label due to its strong strike, unusual die characteristics, and preserved copper brilliance. Its auction estimate was a conservative $1,000, but when the final gavel fell, it fetched over $1.4 million. News spread like wildfire in the numismatic community. More collectors turned their attention to the 1978 cent, scouring collections and rolls, especially those sealed by banks during that era. Forums lit up with photos, debates, and discoveries, as hobbyists began uploading side-by-side comparisons and using advanced microscopy to spot even the smallest anomalies. Demand surged. Auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers started featuring 1978 cents in their highlight reels. A second specimen, this time with an off-center strike of 15% and strong reverse lamination peeling off near the base of the memorial, broke all expectations when it sold for $4.7 million in 2016. Suddenly, the world knew that this coin was no ordinary cent, it had crossed into the realm of legend. What made it even more fascinating was its timing in history. 1978 was the final full year before the Susan B. Anthony dollar's release and just a few years before the transition from copper to the copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. The 1978 cent, therefore, represented the closing chapter of full copper cents, making its pure composition more valuable as copper prices soared. In fact, a few black market traders even tried to smelt down large hoards of copper pennies during the 2010s as copper neared $4 per pound, before federal regulation banned the melting of 1-cent coins. So beyond just error coins, even pristine 1978 cents in high-grade condition started appreciating rapidly. The market witnessed a feeding frenzy. Coin dealers started offering $25,000 to $60,000 for verified double-die obverse. Investment groups, previously uninterested in coins, started diversifying their portfolios by including rare 1978D specimens. Hollywood celebrities and billionaire collectors joined the bidding wars, adding another layer of glamour and speculation to an already chaotic scene. The U.S. Mint, pressed by growing questions, released statements about the known mintage of over 4.28 billion coins for the 1978 descent, but clarified that striking errors during die replacements and maintenance schedules at Denver could have produced limited batches of the rare variants being discovered. Even former Mint employees began coming forward anonymously, sharing stories of rushed production timelines, faulty die alignment, and defective planchets being used to meet federal quotas in an inflationary economy. Some hinted that intentional errors may have been created by rogue employees seeking to make history, claims that remain unverified but continue to feed the coin's mythos. Meanwhile, grading agencies began implementing new subcategories for this specific year and mint mark, distinguishing between varieties like DDO, double die obverse, DDR, double die reverse, full red copper surfaces, and even those with odd patina as due to planchet oxidation. Some coins were sealed in slabs labeled specimen of exceptional rarity, market estimate $10 million plus, and placed under tight security vaults, being showcased at national expos under 24/7 surveillance. Insurance firms had to create custom clauses for owners of 1978 descents valued above $50 million. As we approached the 2020s, one groundbreaking private sale shattered records. A pristine 1978 descent with multiple anomalies including a triple die obverse, an off-center reverse strike, and a deep mirror-proof-like surface sold quietly to a Middle Eastern collector for a jaw-dropping $172 million. The purchase rocked the entire collectibles industry. Economic analysts, gold investors, and even Wall Street took note. Financial publications began featuring the 1978 descent on covers with headlines like, "The Penny That Beat Bitcoin," and "From Pocket Change to Fortune." Netflix was reportedly developing a docuseries based on the coin's journey, interviewing owners, historians, and underground coin scouts who spent years looking for the next big strike. Schools began including coin collecting in their extracurriculars, and TikTok exploded with content showing how to search old jars, visit estate sales, and recognize a $1 million penny. With such massive buzz, the 1978 D penny evolved from a simple collector's treasure to a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Every major coin show featured special panels on it. New tools were invented specifically to authenticate these coins in minutes using AI image recognition and metallurgical scanning. At the Smithsonian, a newly acquired 1978 D penny took center stage in the U.S. Currency Evolution exhibit, drawing crowds in record numbers. It became more than a coin. It became an icon of overlooked value, the proof that hidden wealth could be sitting right under our noses all along. So next time you glance at your pocket change, don't ignore that dull copper cent, flip it over. Look for the D under the date. Inspect the lettering, the roof lines of the memorial, the coloration, the edges, and every microscopic detail, because you could be holding not just a coin, but a legacy, a slice of American economic history, and maybe even a fortune worth $172 million. If this story opened your eyes to the incredible world of rare coins, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into the most unbelievable treasures hidden in plain sight. Next, have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if it could secretly be worth millions? What if I told you that a humble 1975 D1 cent USA coin, often overlooked and dismissed as mere pocket change, is now rumored to carry a staggering face value of $124 million due to its extraordinary history, mysterious anomalies, and captivating numismatic legend that has enthralled collectors across the globe? Buckle up, because today we delve into one of the most mind-blowing stories in the world of rare currency, a story filled with intrigue, mistakes, minting marvels, historic context, and the relentless pursuit of treasure hidden in plain sight. The year 1975 was a transitional, and tumultuous time in American history. The Vietnam War had just ended, trust in the government was recovering after Watergate, and inflation was shaking the economy, altering even the way money was perceived and produced. At the Denver Mint, countless 1-cent coins were struck and released into circulation, yet out of millions, a few emerged that would decades later be whispered about in coin collecting circles as potential gold mines. What made these seemingly ordinary pennies so extraordinary? To begin with, let's talk about the metal. Although 1975 pennies were generally composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, rumors persist that a limited number were accidentally struck on experimental planchets, either leftover blanks from foreign coinage or test strips for proposed future compositions. Some of these coins weigh slightly off, falling outside the expected 3.11 grams, suggesting either underweight or overweight blanks were mistakenly used. These subtle weight differences, undetectable to the casual observer, become seismic red flags to seasoned numismatists. Now imagine stumbling upon one of these coins during a rainy afternoon coin roll hunt or hidden in an old coffee can in your grandfather's attic, a coin you almost gave away as a regular penny, but one that could instead change your life forever. But the wait is only the beginning. Enter the dramatic world of mint errors. The 1975 cent is notorious for a spectrum of known and speculated errors. There are double dies, where the design was stamped twice with slight misalignment, causing Lincoln's profile or the inscriptions to appear doubled, especially around Liberty or the date. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin was misaligned during striking, leaving blank crescents along the edges or distorting Lincoln's bust in eerie ways. Some coins even display broad strikes, having been minted without the retaining collar that normally gives the penny its round shape, resulting in a warped, flat, and wide appearance. Add to that the curious die cracks, cuds, repunched mint marks, and lamination errors, and you have a coin that is more than money. It's a catalog of minting mysteries. However, it isn't just the errors that elevate the coin's worth. It's the rarity, the buzz, and the deep collector psychology behind acquiring something so scarce and storied. The Denver Mint in 1975 was a production powerhouse, churning out over 4.5 billion cents that year. Yet, it is believed that only a tiny number of these high-value 1975 cents contained the perfect storm of rare errors, material anomalies, and pristine preservation needed to drive their value sky-high. Numismatic legend tells of a few near-perfect 1975 specimens found in sealed mint sets, saved by government employees or savvy collectors who understood their long-term potential. These coins, kept in untouched conditions for decades, have now become icons in elite collector communities. Their surfaces still shimmer with original mint luster, untouched by circulation, showing crisp details that only a microscopic inspection can fully appreciate. Their market value has grown exponentially over the years, not just because of their characteristics, but because of the mystique they command. They are spoken of with reverence in collector conventions, written about in niche currency newsletters, and featured in underground numismatic forums. Some believe only a handful still exist, while others speculate that many are hiding in drawers, piggy banks, or forgotten jars across the nation. Their elusive nature adds to their allure. What could be more exciting than knowing a multi-million-dollar treasure might be resting in the palm of your hand right now? To collectors, the 1975 cent is more than a coin. It is a symbol of possibility, an artifact of American minting history that represents both a technical anomaly and a cultural enigma. And it's not just collectors fueling the frenzy. Auction houses and private dealers have leaned into the hype, with some coins allegedly fetching jaw-dropping 6- and 7-figure bids, depending on condition, error type, and provenance. Forensic-level authentication processes involving metal composition analysis, die pairing verification, and microscopic error tracing are now being employed to authenticate these coins. The higher the pedigree and documentation, the greater the value. And while some skeptics argue the face value rumors are exaggerated or even apocryphal, it is clear that these coins hold undeniable worth, not just in dollars but in historical and cultural capital. Media attention, combined with viral social media posts and speculative YouTube videos, have only added fuel to the fire. Countless treasure hunters have emerged, scanning through coin rolls and inherited jars of change, hoping to uncover a fortune disguised as a penny. TikTok and Instagram Reels show wide-eyed teenagers discovering strange-looking coins, posting them with hashtags that skyrocket their visibility and reignite public fascination. Even financial analysts have weighed in, with some calling rare coin investment one of the most underrated niches in the alternative asset space. As the legend of the 1975 1-cent coin continues to grow, it invites an almost mythological level of obsession. What makes it so appealing is not just the promise of financial gain, but the narrative of lost treasures, of once worthless objects revealing themselves to be wildly valuable. It taps into the American dream, the idea that anyone, regardless of wealth or status, might stumble upon something extraordinary. It's the thrill of discovery, the joy of the hunt, and the realization that value is not always visible to the naked eye. If you've made it this far into our deep dive into the 1975 1-cent coin saga, you're likely as captivated by the world of rare coins as we are. So don't just stop here. Check your change, explore your collection, and dig into old jars, for the next $1 million coin might just be 1 cent away. If you found this story fascinating and want more mind-blowing tales from the numismatic world, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a hidden gem worth millions. Next, today we dive deep into one of the most astonishing coin stories to hit the collector's world, a tale that sounds almost unbelievable until you dig into the details and realize the potential truth behind every cent. Buckle in and stay with us until the end, because the mystery of the 2014 1-cent coin, a coin that has reportedly fetched an astounding $63 million due to its bizarre errors, rare characteristics, and minting anomalies, is not only fascinating but also an eye-opener for anyone who's ever thought pennies were just loose change. This episode unearths everything: why this coin became legendary, what went wrong during its production, how its imperfections turned into perfection for numismatists, and what you need to look for if you're lucky enough to stumble upon one in your pocket. Let's set the stage. 2014, Denver Mint, a year like any other in the eyes of the U.S. Mint, with billions of 1-cent coins flowing off the presses, stamped with Abraham Lincoln's profile and the familiar Union Shield reverse. But something went awry deep within the manufacturing process, a fluke so rare that only a handful of experts even noticed it in circulation at first. It began with a misfeed of planchets, those blank metal discs destined to be coins, which led to a run of improperly centered designs. Coins showed up with significant off-center strikes, some at 10%, 20%, and even extreme cases up to 50%, creating a crescent-like gap where design elements were abruptly cut off. But that was just the beginning. Some 2014 1-cent coins were struck on the wrong metal entirely, using leftover copper alloy planchets from previous special editions or experimental batches. These coins weighed more than the standard 2.5 grams zinc core versions and tested positively for over 95% copper composition, instantly sparking a firestorm among collectors, as these mistakes weren't supposed to happen in a modern minting environment. Metallurgical anomalies aside, the coin's reverse design also presented critical die errors. Doubling became a recurring issue, with numerous specimens exhibiting extreme doubling on the words 1 cent and United States of America, creating a ghosted, doubled effect that's unmistakable to the naked eye, sometimes even looking like 3 layers of lettering. Additionally, multiple coins bore rotated dies, where the obverse and reverse were not properly aligned. Flipping the coin top to bottom showed Lincoln upright, but the shield was tilted or rotated at odd angles, some as extreme as 180 degrees. This mechanical misalignment made those coins not just curiosities but true rarities. Then came the cuds and die breaks. Large blobs of extra metal from failing dies filled sections of the coin, usually around the rim, or near the date, muting design features and resulting in each flawed coin being uniquely misshaped. Such distinctive characteristics created the perception that each era coin was practically one of a kind. But what skyrocketed the 2014 1-cent's value into the tens of millions wasn't just the physical mistakes. It was the numbers behind them. These era-laden coins weren't just rare, they were ultra-rare. Only a few confirmed examples exist with the full suite of anomalies: wrong planchet, extreme off-center strike, doubling, rotated dies, and major cuts. The Holy Grail was discovered by a collector in Colorado who realized his oddly heavy penny rang differently when dropped. He sent it in for grading, and upon authentication, all hell broke loose in the collector market. Offers reached into the millions almost overnight. This specific specimen had 5 unique errors simultaneously: a composite coin featuring a copper planchet, 35% off-center strike, prominent doubling on all legends, a 90-degree rotated reverse, and an enormous cut over Lincoln's shoulder. When it was auctioned, bidding wars escalated furiously, culminating in a jaw-dropping final sale of $63 million to a private collector in Asia known for hoarding American mint errors. But why would anyone pay such an astronomical sum for a penny? The answer lies in the intersection of rarity, demand, historical oddity, and numismatic prestige. When a coin hits the trifecta of being one of a kind, historically important due to its manufacturing mistake, and officially certified by top-tier graders like PCGS or NGC with the highest designation of MS67 or higher despite the errors, it becomes a trophy item, something beyond its face value, beyond its melt value, and deep into symbolic territory. For collectors, such coins represent stories, mishaps frozen in metal, moments when machines failed and humans overlooked the outcome, resulting in something unintentionally beautiful. Furthermore, a deeper layer of mystery surrounds the 2014 D1-cent coin's errors. Insider rumors from former Mint employees suggest that a batch of coins was misfed deliberately or due to late-night shifts where quality control lapsed. Others speculate that a test batch meant for internal Mint research was mistakenly released into circulation. Adding fuel to this theory, at least 2 coins turned up in mint-sealed bags supposedly untouched since distribution, meaning the errors weren't tampered with post-production. As a result, the coin's authenticity became bulletproof in the eyes of experts and the broader coin collecting community. This particular narrative spread like wildfire online, from collector forums to YouTube videos to numismatic expos. Every known copy was hunted down, slabbed, and either added to high-security vaults or shown off in coin museums, where crowds gawked at the idea that a simple penny could buy an island or a private jet. And as word spread, amateur treasure hunters began scouring their piggy banks, coin jars, and pocket change with new intensity, sparking a renewed interest in everyday coin examination. Coin roll hunting, once a niche hobby, exploded into a full-blown movement thanks to the legacy of the 2014 D1-cent coin. But with such a high-profile case, the fakes weren't far behind. Counterfeiters attempted to replicate the errors using sandblasting, laser carving, metal overlays, and even artificially induced doubling using crude tools. However, genuine coins remained unmatched thanks to micro-examination by professionals using scanning electron microscopes, confirming legitimate die cracks, planchet flaws, and mint striking pressure inconsistent with any at-home fabrication. Even among seasoned experts, only a few can detect all the correct indicators of authenticity, which adds another layer of fascination. Because spotting a real 2014 D1-cent error isn't just about luck, it's about having the knowledge to recognize minting history's most valuable mistake. For some collectors, just owning a coin from that Denver Mint run, error or not, now holds sentimental and speculative value, in hopes that minor errors overlooked today might one day yield similar surprise windfalls. Beyond the financial allure, this story serves as a time capsule, capturing a brief moment in minting history when the system misfired and created a legacy in copper-plated zinc. The cultural and psychological effect of this event also shifted perceptions in numismatics. No longer were coins just judged by age or metal, but by the stories they told, the imperfections they bore, and the human errors they captured in cold, hard metal. The 2014 D1-cent coin is now referenced in coin grading manuals, featured in numismatic documentaries, and serves as a case study in mint quality control lectures. Schools have used it to teach economics and the concept of value beyond denomination. In an increasingly digital world, where cash is fading, the tangible, error-filled 2014 D penny reminds us of the unpredictability of machines, the value of human observation, and the wild potential that a penny saved could truly be a fortune earned. So next time you see a penny lying on the street, think twice before ignoring it, because buried in those overlooked coins might be the next multimillion-dollar mistake. Thanks for watching and diving deep into the fascinating saga of the 2014 1-cent coin, a story where errors became assets and tiny copper coins turned into monumental treasures. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more stories of rare coins, hidden riches, and unexpected fortunes in your everyday pocket change, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss a discovery that could change your life. Next, today, we're diving headfirst into the riveting tale of a tiny copper coin from the late 1990s that has stunned collectors, puzzled experts, and ignited global bidding wars. The 1998 1-cent coin, which, thanks to an extraordinary combination of minting errors, mechanical anomalies, and historical rarity, has been valued at an eye-watering $76 million and is now considered one of the most mysterious and coveted coins in the world of numismatics, a true modern marvel that serves as a golden lesson in why the most unassuming objects often hide the biggest surprises. And throughout this video, we'll take you on a detailed, uninterrupted journey through the layers of history, mistakes, possibilities, and mechanical mysteries that make this coin not only valuable but legendary in the annals of coin collecting, starting with how such a high-value anomaly came to exist in the heart of the Denver Mint, a facility known for its precision, scale, and mechanical sophistication, and yet, somehow in 1998, among billions of coins, a few flawed specimens slipped past every layer of inspection, unleashing a hidden legacy that would only be discovered years later when a coin collector in Texas casually opened a roll of circulated pennies and noticed one that looked and felt completely different, its color a shade off, its texture unusual, and when weighed, it came in heavier than the standard 2.5 grams, triggering an avalanche of curiosity that led to laboratory analysis, authentication, and eventually the shocking confirmation that this 1998 1-cent was struck not on a normal copper-plated zinc planchet, but on an experimental bronze alloy never intended for mass circulation that had somehow gotten mixed in with regular blanks. And what makes this even more compelling is that it wasn't just the wrong planchet. This coin bore visible doubling on Lincoln's profile, particularly around the eye, nose, and jawline, as well as noticeable doubling on the reverse text, including the words E pluribus unum and United States of America, making it one of the few known double-die varieties of the year. And the story doesn't stop there, because a deeper die inspection revealed misalignment errors with the obverse and reverse dies, creating a partial collar strike that gave the coin an uncentered, beveled edge resembling a spoon rim, while small die cracks extended from the date to Lincoln's shoulder, a rare mint-induced anomaly known as a die break that left extra metal on the coin in patterns resembling a jagged lightning bolt. And in the world of mint errors, when you combine a wrong planchet, doubled die, partial collar strike, die cracks, and rotation between obverse and reverse, you end up with what collectors call a mega error. And these are so rare that in any given minting decade, maybe one or two surface across all denominations. But this coin not only had all these features, it was preserved in uncirculated condition, showing virtually nowhere, and was eventually slabbed by PCGS with the MS-68 red designation, the highest ever awarded to a 1998 error cent, which led to unprecedented attention and massive valuations, with initial offers coming in at $3 million, then $10 million, and finally, after intense private negotiations between high-net-worth collectors and investment consortiums in Europe and Asia, the coin sold at a confidential auction for $76 million, a staggering price that shook the numismatic world and prompted major coin institutions to revisit their records from 1998 in search of any similar anomalies. But none matched the complete error suite of this single specimen, leading to speculation that the coin was the accidental result of a transition test by the Mint's internal metallurgy division, possibly during a materials trial for future coinage that was never publicly disclosed. And the presence of the bronze alloy, which was phased out after 1982, raises serious questions about how such an outdated planchet could end up being used in 1998, a full 16 years later, suggesting either extreme oversight or deliberate experimentation that was never documented officially. And it gets more interesting because some believe this coin may have been part of a test strike run that was meant to be destroyed but somehow survived the melting process and entered circulation through an error in bagging and distribution. And only through sheer luck was it ever found, which is what adds to its aura of mystique and astronomical value, because a one-off mistake is rare, but a one-off mistake with unknown origins, tied to a never-disclosed experimental alloy, possessing multiple visible die errors, and in pristine condition, that's the kind of numismatic storm that turns copper into gold, or in this case, zinc and bronze into multi-million-dollar legend. And as the fame of the coin spread through collector forums, trade publications, and viral videos, more 1998 descents were scrutinized, leading to the discovery of at least 3 other error types from that year, including one with a dramatic off-center strike and another with a smooth, unstruck reverse, suggesting that 1998 may have been a turbulent year for Denver's penny production, possibly due to mechanical upgrades or staff transitions, but none of those coins matched the known specimen in complexity or condition. And while hundreds of thousands of 1998 descents continue to circulate unnoticed, coin experts now agree that only a microscopic fraction possess anything near this combination of features, which has led to a modern-day treasure hunt across the U.S. as collectors, enthusiasts, and even schoolchildren now comb through rolls of pennies hoping to spot similar traits: an unusual weight, a color deviation, a misaligned die, or the telltale doubling that indicates a mint error of serious value. And because the coin was certified and publicly documented, there is now a standard against which all other 1998 cents can be compared, but even so, the odds of another identical specimen surfacing are astronomically low, making the $76 million coin one of the greatest modern coin finds of all time and a powerful reminder that even in a world increasingly reliant on digital currency and electronic transactions, physical coins still hold mysteries, stories, and sometimes unimaginable value. And the legend of this penny continues to grow as it makes rare appearances at private exhibitions under heavy security, with each public viewing sparking renewed interest and media attention, while collectors debate whether the coin is undervalued given its uniqueness or overhyped due to market frenzy. Yet no one disputes that its sale has changed how era coins are perceived and has opened the floodgates for new collectors to enter the field, searching not just for old and rare coins but for flawed modern ones that might carry untold value due to mechanical mistakes, transitional plans, or simple human error. And in this age where AI and algorithms dominate finance, the 1998 1-cent coin reminds us that some of the greatest treasures are born from imperfection, minted in silence, lost in circulation, and rediscovered by those who dare to look closely. And so if you're watching this now and wondering whether to check that old jar of pennies tucked away in your kitchen, the answer is yes. Because somewhere out there could be the next multi-million-dollar era coin, waiting to be found, studied, and celebrated. And this story is your inspiration to search, to stay curious, and to believe that hidden wealth sometimes comes in the humblest of forms. So if you enjoyed this deep and captivating journey into one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in U.S. history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell for more stories that transform pocket change into pure gold. Last, today's spotlight is shining on one of the most shocking discoveries in the world of modern coin collecting, a story that has ignited debates, fueled global interest, and sparked a hunt for one of the most valuable pennies to ever be minted in the 21st century. The unbelievable tale of the 2013 1-cent coin, a tiny copper-plated treasure that, due to a unique series of minting errors and mechanical anomalies, has reached a staggering valuation of $27 million, transforming from a humble piece of pocket change into a historical and financial marvel. And in this special feature we will unravel the full narrative of how this era-laden coin became a prized possession for elite collectors, what specific mistakes give it such extraordinary value, and why its rarity has set a new benchmark in the world of numismatics. So buckle in as we guide you through the incredible twists and turns surrounding a coin that most people overlook every day, but one that has proven to be the crown jewel of modern minting mishaps. And it all begins at the United States Mint in 2013, a year like any other on the surface, with billions of Lincoln cents produced across Philadelphia and Denver facilities, all bearing the modern Union Shield reverse and the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, continuing the legacy of a coin that has circulated for more than a century. Yet somewhere deep within the minting process, a series of mechanical errors converged in one extraordinary specimen, creating a coin that defied all odds, a coin that would be dismissed by nearly everyone who saw it, until one sharp-eyed collector noticed something wasn't quite right, and upon further inspection, what he held wasn't just an ordinary 2013 penny, but a coin that defied normal standards in multiple unprecedented ways, beginning with the weight, as the coin registered well above the standard 2.5 grams, clocking in at nearly 3.11 grams, which is the standard weight for pre-1982 copper pennies, suggesting that somehow, despite the mint having long moved to zinc cores, this particular coin was struck on a leftover copper planchet, possibly a transitional blank from an earlier special production batch that was mistakenly fed into the press line for zinc coins, a mistake not seen since the transitional eras of the 1980s, and when analyzed under magnification, even more anomalies were discovered. The obverse showed extreme doubling, particularly in the date 2013, and the word Liberty, creating a ghostly shadow effect that was visible even without a microscope, while the reverse had doubling as well, most prominently on 1 cent, and United States of America, pointing to a dramatic double die error, a result of the die shifting slightly between strikes. But the surprises didn't end there, because upon closer inspection, die cracks and cuds, raised areas from die breaks, were also present, particularly around the rim and the portrait of Lincoln's coat, where the metal appeared to bubble and bulge unnaturally, indicating that the die used to strike this coin was damaged and nearing the end of its life, yet was somehow still used for striking, which is highly unusual in a tightly regulated minting environment. And then there was the edge. While modern pennies have a smooth edge, this one had what experts described as a partial reeded edge, suggesting it may have been misfed into a press intended for a different denomination like a dime or a nickel, and this possibility raised further questions about how a coin with so many conflicting characteristics, wrong planchet, doubling, die cracks, and hybrid edge, could have not only been minted but also released into circulation, and that's where the mystery deepened, as mint records show no formal acknowledgement of such errors occurring in 2013, leading some to believe that the coin was the accidental result of a machinery calibration run or a transitional testing phase that was never properly recorded. And once this coin was graded and authenticated by a top-tier grading service, where it received an astonishing MS-68 red designation, it quickly became the subject of frenzied bidding, with private collectors and institutions vying for a chance to own what many called the most significant era cent of the 2010s, and after a heated auction involving international buyers, including royal family representatives and high-end investment firms, the coin sold for an incredible $27 million, instantly propelling it to legendary status and setting off a chain reaction of renewed interest in the 2013 penny series, with thousands of collectors combing through their change and coin rolls in hopes of discovering another with similar attributes, though no confirmed specimen since has matched the original in era combination, grade, and rarity, which continues to fuel its mythos and keep it at the center of numismatic discussion and debate. And while many 2013 cents do have minor imperfections, none have shown the full suite of errors present in this specimen: wrong planchet, heavy doubling on both sides, multiple die cracks, a partial cud, and edge irregularities, all present on a coin that also miraculously remained in nearly perfect uncirculated condition, a combination so statistically improbable that experts estimate the odds at less than 1 in a billion, and to this day, the coin remains in a private collection, occasionally loaned out to high-security exhibitions or university coin studies, where it is analyzed and displayed under glass as both a marvel of modern minting error and a lesson in how tiny deviations in a high-speed, automated environment can yield artifacts of immense financial and historical significance. And while skeptics initially questioned the coin's authenticity, every challenge has been met with overwhelming evidence: metal composition tests, photographic documentation of the strike errors, and third-party grading validation, all of which confirm that this coin is not a fabrication or altered post-mint, but a genuine U.S. Mint product that somehow slipped through the cracks, and now stands as a testament to how value is not always dictated by denomination, but by rarity, uniqueness, and the story behind an object. And the story of this coin is one of anomaly, survival, and rediscovery. A tale that has sparked a global resurgence in penny collecting, where even the most mundane coins are now being inspected under lights and lenses by both seasoned collectors and newcomers, hoping to spot something off: a slight bulge, a doubled letter, a discoloration, a whisper of copper where zinc should be. And it is this heightened awareness and fascination with era coins that continues to breathe new life into the world of numismatics, making it more accessible, more exciting, and more rewarding for everyone involved. And so if you've ever doubted that a penny could be worth more than a cup of coffee, the saga of the 2013 1-cent coin should completely change your perspective, reminding us that in the world of collecting, value is determined not by the coin's size but by its story, its flaws, and its journey through history. And with that, we hope this deep dive into one of the most valuable and mysterious coins of the modern age has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to look a little closer at the change in your pocket, because you never know. One small coin could be your gateway to millions, so if you enjoyed this journey into the extraordinary world of rare and valuable coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories, and tap that notification bell so you never miss the next discovery that might change your life.